Nalagay na mong as.
Okay, seems like we are all set for this afternoon's discussion. So, okay, group reporters, are you ready? Okay, thank you so much. But first things first, I'd like to extend my deep appreciation to everyone who's here to join our discussion. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. And yes, I'll be giving the virtual floor to Marielle and Angela.
Miss Christina Laron, may lead the prayer, please.
Okay, so let's put ourselves in the holy presence of the Lord as we'll say, in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Dear Lord and Father of all, thank you for today. Thank you for ways in which you provide for us all. For your protection and love, we thank you. Help us to focus our hearts and minds now and what we are about to learn. Inspire us by your Holy Spirit as we listen and write. Guide us by your eternal light as we discover more about the world around us. We ask all this in the name of Jesus. Amen. In the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Amen.
So, okay, thank you for that, Miss Christina Laron. So now we're going to have a short motivation. So this game is called For All. So this game is called For All since because everyone can participate in this game, and I hope everyone participate. So kindly next. Okay, so for the mechanics, so everyone can participate in the game. The game will start as the reporter reads the question. There will be two there will be only two options, and remember before answering it must start with I believe and end with thank you. So enjoy the game. So kindly next. Okay, let's start. So first, what does ADI stands for? May I have the hand of Miss Angela Enoch?
Um, I what does ADI stands for? I believe uh, analyze, design, develop, implement, and evaluate. Thank you.
So thank you for that, Miss Angela. Let's see if you got it right. Kindly next. Okay, you got it right. So thank you, Miss Angela. So kindly next. So next is what is the five instructional model? So may I have the hands of Miss Anna Villasor?
So, good afternoon. I believe that this is my answer. I believe that this will help the child develop different types of skills. And my answer is engagement, exploration, explanation, elaboration, and evaluation.
Wow, thank you for that, Miss Anna Villasor. So let's see if you got it right. Yeah, okay, you got it right. Congratulations, Miss Anna Villasor. So kindly next. Okay, so an instructional design model that helps the teachers and trainers create learning environment for their students. So I have here Miss Nina Unduna.
I believe it is a sure model. Thank you.
Okay, let's see if you got it right. Kindly next, Miss Jinbaya. Okay, thank you for that wonderful question. Answer rather. Kindly next, Miss Jinbaya. Okay, so next is these are frameworks that guide teaching and learning. Yes, Miss Jinbia Sokim.
I believe it is instructional model. Thank
Oh,
you.
okay, let's see if you got it right, Miss Jinbea. Yes, absolutely right. You're right. So kindly next, Miss Jinbea. Okay. A blank is a blended learning strategy that enhances student engagement by allowing students to complete readings at home and engage in a live problem solving during class. So I have here Miss Alma Lubidika.
For me, my answer is B, flipped classroom.
Can you repeat your answer, Miss Alma Lubidika?
Letter B, flipped classroom.
Okay, let's see if you got it right, Miss Alma. Okay, thank you for that, Miss Alma Lobedika. Okay, kindly next, Miss Jinbea. So, Gagne's model consists of how many event instruction? Yes, Miss Caterino Nato. Can you repeat that, please, Miss Caterino Nato? I can't hear what you are saying. Okay, I got it. That. So, kindly next, Miss Jinbea. Okay, thank you for that, Miss Jinbea. So for the last one, so the 5E model is inspired in what philosophy of education? Yes, Miss Mariel Igot.
I believe it is constructivism.
Nice. Okay, thank you for that, Miss Mariel. Kindly next, Miss Jinbea. Yes, you got it right, Miss Mariel. So that's for all for our motivation. I hope you enjoyed and had fun. Thank you.
Eugene!
Okay.
Asa mo ni mo gikuha? Ang puto!
Okay, thank you so much for that wonderful motivation, Miss Hamandron. But before we formally start our discussion for our assigned topic, I'd like to remind everyone here that refrain from saying any vernacular words, and if you are not being called, please do not unmute your microphone. And if you have any ideas or you would like to share any ideas or thoughts, you may raise your hand button. All right. Okay. So I hope we are clear with this. So thank you so much. And I'll be giving this virtual floor to Miss Hamandron to formally start our discussion. Thank you so much.
Okay, so thank you for that reminder, Miss Mary Joy Lapawan. So, good day, everyone. We are from the Group 6 presenter, and our topic for this afternoon is about the instructional models for science. So, kindly next, Miss Junbea. So, to formally introduce our team, so I am with Jessa Dado, Mary Joy Lapawan, and Christina Lauram. So, if as we begin, so without looking at the presentation, what is your idea about instructional models for your understanding? Any hand? Or should I call Miss Caterina Nato?
For me, instructional models refers to the guide or set of content that is ano instructional models refers to the standards that is developed to caters the needs of the children, including uh, how the how the teaching is being taught. Like a teacher must should a teacher should involve various activities such as promoting activities that promotes engagement, collaboration to achieve effective learning.
Okay, thank you for that very informative insight of yours, Miss Christina Laron. I mean Miss Caterino Nato, rather. Um, I think someone is raising their hand to share their information. So may I have Miss Jamaica Dayanan? Yes, Miss Jamaica.
Okay, so in my point of view, instructional models is that is um that is how we gonna use to to educate our student or um to instruct wait so again so instructional models, for me it is the way of teaching of our children, of our kids, and it's a methods and how we are going to elaborate the topic and the instructional goals and the objectives. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that insight, Miss Jamaica Diana. So, when we say instructional models, so it guides educator in planning and delivering content. So, instructional models is also a framework that guides educators. So, they provide a structure for organizing lessons and helping students to develop a deep understanding of a scientific concept. So, kindly next, Ms. Jinbaya. Okay, now I will give the virtual floor to Miss Mary Joy Lapawan. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Miss Hemandra. Now that we are clear with what is instructional design models, we will now delve to its characteristics. So, as what Branch and Merrill in 2002 outlined, that the characteristics of instructional design models, they play a critical role in creating engaging and effective learning experiences. So, meaning to say, through this instructional design models, young learners are able to learn and to learn through through active participation, and they can thoroughly understand the content or the lesson because of the instructional design model. So the first characteristic, which is learner centered. So I believe that we've been talking learner centered for almost 3 years now. So I'd like to hear from anyone here about their insights on what is learner centered, since we've been discussing about this for almost 3 years here in university. So I'd like to hear from your thoughts of that about the learner centered. So anyone? Okay, may I have the hand of Miss Villasor.
So in my own understanding, so when we say learner-centered, it is an approach where the child are able to choose their activities according to their interests or needs and capabilities, and they're able to enjoy and manipulate things and so on. Like,
Yes, that is correct. So when we say learner centered, so the focus here is the child. So the instructional design focuses on the needs, the curiosity, and the developmental stages of young children. So as we all know that children are naturally curious and eager to explore the world. So as teacher, it is our responsibility that um, we should let them explore and discover things that are within their interests, or something that they like to they like to experiment. So you let them explore the activities that they like, and you as a teacher, you must be there for them as a facilitator or as a guide. So you must be the guide of the children while they are inquiring their knowledge. So, for example, like you're discussing about a lesson of floating and sinking. So you could start children on like asking children to predict whether a certain objects like example a rock, a leaf, and you may ask them which of those objects will sink or float in the water. So in learner centered, you let them experiment with those objects, guided by their own question and interest, and you let them explore. And this you let them explore by giving them toys and letting it flow to the water and see if those objects will flow or sink. So through that, you're allowing a hands-on experience. So it is an exploration where the child can gain knowledge through their own with the guidance of their teacher or older or what we say the more knowledgeable others. So second is goal oriented. So do you have an idea what do you mean by goal oriented? Okay, may I have the hand of Miss Elman.
Goal oriented real world performance focus is it focuses on the specific task of the children wherein they will explore, discover, and experience a real world activities that achieve um, achieve the specific planned outcome.
Yes, correct. But I'd like to apologize. Goal-oriented and real-world performance focus, they are different things. So maybe there was an error. So it is another characteristic. So yes, you're correct, Miss Auman. So when we say goal-oriented, so when we say instructional design, so there is a specific goals in every lesson. There must be goals that we must attain or achieve. So these goals might be tied to understanding basic scientific concepts and like improving their problem solving skills or fostering scientific thinking like observation or I must say prediction. Like for example, you as a teacher, you are discussing about the plants or the what the plants needs in order for them to grow. So the goal of that lesson is for the children to find out what are the things that plants needs in order for them to grow healthier. So they need water and sunlight to grow, right? So for that, activities might include planting seeds in small pots and the children can observe their growth over time. So this lesson is structured to that. By the end, the children can articulate the conditions necessary for plant life, like they need sunlight, water, as well as carbon dioxide for the plants to grow. So they need to have a specific goal. So at the end of the lesson, the children must attain that goal. So third is we have here real world performance focus. So as what Chara mentioned earlier, can you define again what is real world performance focus? May I have the hand of Miss Onduna.
Um, when we say real world performance focus, it means that you give an opportunity to children to solve real world problems.
Okay, thank you so much. You got a point, Miss Onduna. So, in this context, the instruction must help children connect scientific concepts to the real world. So they must learn not just inside the classroom, but also out in the outside world or the real world. So you let them apply their what they have learned inside the classroom in everyday situation. So in science for young children, it should be about exploring their environment and how science explains in everyday phenomena. So it is all about applying what they have learned to what they have observed or what they have seen in their everyday lives. Like for example, they could take a nature walk so that they can learn about the different types of weather. They might like observe clouds, feel the wind, or notice the warmth of the sun. So that involves real world, right? And after that observation in the outside world or in the real world, they can discuss how different weather conditions affect the environment, such as why puddles evaporate or like how the wind moves the leaves. Okay. So for the last three characteristics, it would be discussed by Miss Hamandran. So thank you so much.
So thank you for that, Miss Marijoy Pawan. So next is measurable outcomes. So even in early childhood science education, outcomes must be measurable. So though the measurement is informal, such as observing how will children grasp scientific ideas or how they apply their knowledge. So it should be uh, like counted like that. So like for example, after conducting an experiment on the water cycle, the teacher might assess children by understanding or asking them to explain where the water went and why. So in this, children may answer that are recorded or to see if they understand the basic concept of evaporation. So did you get it, guys? Okay. So next is data driven processes. So do you have any do you have any idea what is data driven processes, Miss Anna Villasor? Miss Anna Villasor? I guess is Miss Anna Villasor is having a disconnection, I think. So in data-driven processes, so young children should involve in gathering data, such as observing how children interact with science concepts or to track their progress over time. So this information can help in modifying and or adjusting the instruction to better meet the children's needs. So, like for example, so if a teacher noticed that children are consistently confused about the difference between living things and non-living things during science activity.
Excuse me, Marielle, you're on your mute, Marielle.
Okay, sorry for that. So, data-driven processes. So, for young children, they should involve in gathering data such as observing how children interact with science concept or tracking their progress over time. So by this, it can help them to modify or adjust the instruction to better meet the needs of the children. So like for example, if a teacher noticed that uh, her students are consistently confused about the difference between living things and non-living things, so the teacher here might might assess the children by range by sorting of pictures or to show the difference between living things and non-living things in a different categories. So next is collaborative efforts. So in collaborative efforts, so particularly in early childhood education, the teachers might collaborate with other educators, parents, or specialists to design and implement effective science activities. So, for example, in a preschool setting, so it could involve a project that uh, collaborate with between the teacher and the students. Also, and the parents as well. So the nature expert could visit classroom to show real insects to the students. So the teacher here could guide the to could guide and follow up the activity, and also the parents can assist their children by encouraging to look for the nature and to see what are the insects around that area, and also this could reinforce the lesson. So, um, in conclusion, so in early childhood science of education, so instructional design must focus on the child's natural curiosity, have a clear and attainable goals that relate to the child's everyday role. So, I will now give the virtual floor to Miss Jessa Dadul.
Hello everyone, good afternoon. Am I audible? So now let's proceed to the first topic, which is ADI model. So in the first bullet is it is in 1975 when ADI was designed. So ADI was developed for the U.S. Army by the Center of the Educational Technology at Florida State University and was later implemented across the all branches of the U.S. Armed Forces. So the second bullet is ADI was originally based on an earlier ID model. However, so it retained the five steps, and each step included sub-stages. So in one step has to complete the process before starting the next one. So the last bullet is educators and instructional designers have used ADI as a framework to come up with design to develop educational programs. It was very useful by the educators and instructional designers because stages of ADI have clearly defined the facilities and can be implemented as very effective learning tools. So please go next. Okay, thank you. So now let's have the to know the the meaning of ADI. So ADI stands for A for analyze, D for design, D for develop, I for implement, E for evaluate. So the first is analyze. So in analyze, the instructional designers identifies the gap between desired outcomes and learners, existing knowledge, setting clear goals tailored to the learner skills to ensure target and effective instruction without redundancy. So the key points of this analyze is goal setting stage, wherein the focus is the target learners. So the second is design. So in this stage, designers outline the learning experiences. This includes selecting instructional strategies, determining the content structure, um, specifying learning objectives and choosing assessment method and materials. So the focus is on creating a comprehensive lesson plan that includes content, subject matter, and learning objectives. So again, what is the focus on creating uh, a comprehensive lesson plan? Can I have Alma Lobedita?
Am I audible? What is your question again, Miss Dado?
Again, my question is what is the focus on creating a comprehensive lesson plan as what I said earlier?
So I think in focusing creating a comprehensive lesson plan, you said it earlier that it is the content, subject matter, and learning objectives. Thank you.
Thank you, Alma. So that's right. So the next is develop. So if in the two stages involves planning and brainstorming, so in the development stage is putting into action what has been planned. So it is also where the designers make use of the collected data from the previous stages and utilize the information to create a program that will rely what is needed to be taught and to the learners. Thus, development focuses on creating and testing learning outcomes. So the fourth one is implement. So the implementation stage reflects the continuous modification of the program in order to ensure the efficiency and that positive results are obtained. So it is when the instructional designers makes great effort to redesign and update the learning process. So it will be delivered effectively. So it is the stage where real work is done as teachers and learners work hand in hand to learn using new tools in order for the design to be evaluated continuously. So this may involve training instructors, setting up the learning environment, and ensuring that all necessary resources are available for effective instruction. So the last is evaluate. So this is the last stage that involves taking the feedback, which is essential in providing the expected result and um, whether the um, meticulous final testing regarding the what, how, why, and when were accomplished or not accomplished by the entire learning process. So this final phase consists of both formative and summative evaluation. So my question is, what is formative and summative evaluation based on what I discussed you earlier? Um, can I have Sarah? Do you have idea? Okay. Catherine, do you have idea?
Okay, so what was your question again?
I so my question is in your own idea or in your own understanding as what I discussed earlier, what is formative and summative evaluation?
Think formative. evaluation. These are the assessment or evaluations used to improve or to improve students' learning, and also it could be ongoing evaluation, or it could be a set of feedback, while the summative evaluation is given to at the end of academic year, at the end of quarter, so that the teacher knows knows or track the progress of a student's learning, so that if there is if there is a lack or need to be improved, the teacher may apply some specific methods or strategies that would enhance their learning. Thank you.
So thank you, Catherine. So you got the point. So informative happens when the learners and the instructional designers are conducting this study. So it improves the design and delivery, while the summative evaluation assess the effectiveness of the instructional program after the implementation. So the major goals of the evaluation stage is to identify if the goals or objectives are met. So in every stages of the ADI, it involves a formative evaluation. ADI as a model and a process has multidimensional and essential components. Through evaluation is being done throughout the implementation phase with the help of the designers and the learners. A summative evaluation is done for instructional improvement. So that's all on my part. Um, thank you everyone.
Okay, thank you so much for that insightful discussion with the ADI model, Jessa. Now let's move on with the Gagni's 9 events of instruction. So, so this 9 events of instruction was developed by Robert Gagny in 1965. So these 9 events are like a sequence of steps. So they should not be interchanged. So they are designed to guide the learning process and make teaching more effective. So through these steps, so it helps learners actively engage with the material or the lesson, understand it better, or like if they have very if they're having a hard time understanding a complex material, then they can understand it better with this model, and they can apply it in different situations. So for the first event, it would be gaining attention. So this is very self-explanatory. So this step involves capturing the learner's focus so they are prepared to absorb new information. So I'd like to ask, since we are early childhood education, how do you gain the attention of your learners? So, what do you think are the techniques to gain the interest as well as the attention of the young learners? So, may I have the hand of Atika, Miss Minato.
Pardon. So, what is your question again, Miss Latawan?
My question is, as a early childhood education teacher, how do you how do you capture your students' attention and interest? What do you think are your techniques to catch their attention?
Um, for me, as an ECE teacher, future ECE teacher, the best method or strategies to capture the children's attention is through incorporating hands-on activities that would engage or catch their interest, because as we all know that children uh, have limited attention span, so the and and Yet, in such that way, hands-on activities involving the use of realías or real objects, it can um, ignite their um, curiosity and also their exploring some objects that might capture or might improve their holistic development as well.
Okay, thank you so much, Miss Minato. You have a point. You are correct. So, as we all know, that young children are very playful, so they are indeed into realias. Or so, as an easy teacher, the best strategy or techniques to capture there's attention or interest is through through play or anything that that are within their like. So that is one way to
Murag na dira
capture
sa
their
ilang
interest. But
kanang muna ni
we must
ana ba.
remember
Murag
that
tray na
in capturing
kana.
the attention of these students, it must be like it must be aligned to the topic that you are what do you call this that you are going to discuss. So your so your techniques must align with um, the lesson. So it could involve like showing something surprising or exciting that piques your curiosity, and such as using techniques like asking questions that are related to your discussion, or surprising fact related to the topic. For example, you are going to discuss about the magnets. So you could show children, for example, you could show children a large magnet picking up paper paper clips. So as we all know that when there is magnet, there is an unexpected movement of the clip. So being pulled by the invisible force that draws which through that it draws the attention of young children, and makes them curious about how magnets work. So by that techniques, like there will be their attention will be catch, and they will be interested on what lesson you are going to discuss. So that's one way to catch the attention of the children. So second is informing the learner of the objective. So may I have Miss Diana.
Yes.
You're raising your hand. May I have your idea about the second event or instruction?
Okay, so informing the learners of the objective, it is important that we have to inform our objective first before we discuss our topic, so that they have an they have an insight, or they know about the topic. They already know the topic that um for our today's lesson. Thank you.
Okay, you are very correct, Miss Diana. So, in this event, so the teacher clearly tells that the learner, what the learner will learn or achieve by the end of the lesson. So this sets a clear goal and helps the learner to stay focused. So for example, you're going to discuss a lesson about water and its different forms like the solid, liquid, and the gas. So you might say and inform them that today we're going to learn about the different ways to see water as ice, as steam, and as rain. So this gives children a sense of purpose for the lesson. So through that, they're going to know. So this will be the objectives of this lesson. We're going to learn about this and that. So that is for the second event. So the third is stimulating recall of prior knowledge. So when we say when we are introducing new content, you must make sure that you connect it to something the learners already know. So this helps this helps make the material easier to understand by building on their existing knowledge. So you must encourage your learners uh, to connect new information with what they already know. So this can be done through like such as quick review, questions, or discussions about a previous lesson. So we might ask, may I have can you recall what was our last lesson or anything like that? So example, so before you start a lesson on the life cycle of a butterfly, you could ask, do you remember the caterpillars we saw last week? So you may ask, what they look like. So through this, it helps children recall what they have seen and observed, and it prepares them to understand the next step in the life cycle of a butterfly. So fourth is presenting the information. So in here, the content is being introduced. So you must deliver the instructional material in a structured manner using various methods like lectures, videos, or hands-on activities to maintain engagement. So, for example, to teach about the how the plants grow, you might show a real plant and explain its different parts, I mean, like the stem, the roots, the leaves, and the flowers. So using simple language. But you must also remember that since children they can understand complex language, so you must take note that the words that you must be using in discussing or introducing a new lesson must be simple and understandable. And you can also use a video or illustration on showing the plant growth process. So that is how you present an information. So it must be clear and structured. Fifth is providing guidance. May I have the hand of um, Miss Auman to share her insight about providing guidance.
Providing guidance is you as a teacher, you must give uh, you must give guidance so that the learners uh, can do the right activities or like right like that right activities.
Okay, great, Miss Auman. So when we say providing guidance, so the teacher must ensure that the learner process new information. So support learners by offering examples in non-examples like such as visual aids, mnemonics that helps clarify complex concepts. So when a child or a young learner is having a hard time understanding a material, you could offer a help that makes the material easily understandable. You can use like flashcards like that so that they can process the lesson. They can understand it in they can easily grasp the complex materials, so like that. So example, like during a simple experiment on like floating and sinking, you can guide the children by explaining how to drop the objects into the water carefully. So you can say, first let us guess which object will float, then we'll drop them into the water one at a time to see what happens. So through this, you're providing guidance and you let them involved in their learning. So next is six is eliciting performance. So when we say eliciting performance, it's time for learners to practice what they have learned. So it is applying the knowledge. So they're going to apply what they have learned from the discussion. So they should apply the new information and activity or task that reinforce their understanding. So, for example, after discussing the different animal habitats like the water, land, and air, give your the um, pictures of various animals and each animal where do they belong, like, and let them actively apply the concept. So, for example, bird belongs to the air, the fish belongs to the sea, and the chicken belongs to the land. And you must observe if and your children really understand what you have discussed. So you must try different activities. Okay. So seven is like providing feedback. So as we all know that feedback is essential to correct mistakes and reinforce correct understanding. So as a teacher, you must offer constructive feedback on the student's performance to reinforce correct understanding and address misconceptions immediately after assessment. So, for example, like while sorting animals into like their habitats, if a child places a dolphin into the air habitat, you could say, "Good try, but dolphins live in the water, not in the air." So, let's think about animals that fly when we look at the air habitat. So, like this guidance helps the children correct their thinking without discouraging them. So when you observe a child is like um, having a hard time understanding, or like there is a misconceptions during your discussion, you must what do you call that? You must correct their misconceptions immediately, so to reinforce understanding. So eight is assessing performance. So here, the teacher evaluates how well the learners understood the material. So when we assess, this can be done through formal assessments or informal observation to see if they have met the lesson's objectives. So you can utilize a variety of assessments methods, including the exams, the quizzes, written assignments, projects, and so on. And the last is enhanced retention and transfer. So the goal here is to help the learners retain the information over time, and they can apply it in different situations or contexts. So you can encourage students to apply their knowledge in a real world context through discussions or like assignments that connect um, the material to everyday life. So, for example, to reinforce the concept of plant growth, you might plant seeds with the children and ask them to observe and record changes over time. So by planting that, children can compare different plants they see around them, and it helps them to apply the knowledge beyond the classroom setting. So that would be all for my topic. So I hope you understand the nine events of instruction. So thank you so much, and I'll be giving the vir- virtual floor to the next reporter. Thank you.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay, so I'll be the one who will tackle about the Azure model. So, can anyone please read the bullet? May I call on Vidya or Anna?
So, a shore model. So, it is a system that aims to guide teachers in developing lesson plans with the integration of technology and media.
Okay, thank you. So the Assure model guides educators in crafting lesson plans that incorporate technology and media for effective learning. So it is also includes analyzing learners, stating objectives, selecting methods and materials, and also by utilizing these tools, promoting student participation and evaluating results. In a science lessons, might use a virtual lab stimulations to engage students in experiments. So, like for example, in a biology class, instead of traditional lab work, the teacher could use the virtual lab simulation software. So this allows students to conduct experiments in a controlled digital environment, reinforcing concepts such as cellular processes without the logistical challenges of physical labs. And also, students actively engage by manipulating variables, enhancing their understanding through interactive learning. So kindly please next. So it was the Azure model. It was developed by Heinrich and Molenda in 1999. So which is more suitable for a blended learning approach. It is also focuses on the learner and to the entire outcome of accomplishing learning objectives. So this model is used from a constructivist perspective that made it a well-known instructional design, and
The
also the model was modified
ESES.
to be used by the teachers in the classroom, and it is an enriched evolution of the ADI's general model. And also uh, according to Ms. Jesadado a while ago, ADI has five steps, while the Assure model has six steps. So, according to Heinrich Molenda and Russell in 1993, Assure model is it focuses on the planning and conducting instruction that incorporates media, and it also seeks ways on how to integrate media into instruction in a way that will help produce the desired learning outcome. So kindly please next. So here are the steps in Assure model. So first is the analyze learners. So it is the first. No, and the process requires the teachers to um, analyze the characteristics of the learners. So meaning it focusing on the contributes of the learners can be associated with the desired learning outcomes. So those collected information are necessary in making decisions on what kind of strategies and resources will teacher considered in a making plan for the learning process. And also the analysis of the learners should include their general attributes such as their gender, age, academic abilities, interests, um, previous competencies, and their learning styles, if it is auditory, visual, or tactile. So next is statement of the objectives. So can anyone share their idea? If you hear the words statement of the objectives, can you share what comes into your mind if you hear the word statement of the objectives? May I call on Marl Igot? Hello.
Yes.
When you hear the words statement of the objectives, what comes into your mind?
I think it is sure maybe. I think it is um a lesson or a document that outlines the main objectives. That's
Okay,
That's
thank you.
all.
So, another hand. How about Unduna?
When we say statement of the objective in the assure model, it refers that it is a clear and concise description of what you want your students to learn or to be able to do by the end of the lesson. So this objective serve as a guide for selecting appropriate teaching methods, materials, and assessment. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. You have a point. So, yeah, so after analyzing the characteristics of the learners, the teachers must state the objectives and the standards for the learning module. So, the statement should consist of specific learning outcomes of the instruction, which the learners are expected to manifest and perform, such as learning objectives can be used in assessing the achievements of the learners and informing the learners what they should accomplish throughout the process. So, like for example, student will be able to identify and explain the water cycle stages like evaporation, condensation, precipitation, and collection. So these objectives provide clear expectation for students, allowing and also allowing for um, assessment through quizzes or projects and guiding learners on what they need to demonstrate by the end of the module. So next is selection of media. So by knowing the learning objectives, it is essential to pick instructional strategies, technology, and media that will bring about um, result that the teacher wants. Though learning becomes more exciting when there is more class participation. So it is the learners who might gain mastery over the materials. So learning will be on its best if the media is relevant on the content of the materials, such as sounds, graphics, text, annotation, and videos are selected for effective learning. So it is the best learning can be obtained if the teacher leads the learners into discovering the solution of the problem. So next is the utilize technology. So this step deals with making plans on how the teacher will utilize the technology, media, and materials that have been selected with all the instructional steps. So, like for example, a teacher planning a unit on climate change might utilize an online platform like Google Earth to explore global effects visually. So, by incorporating interactive maps and satellite imagery, students can analyze data in a real time, fostering critical thinking. So, this technology enhances engagement and understanding, allowing students to um, relate their learning to the real world issue. So next is require learning performance. So can anyone share their idea about the require learning performance? Yes, Miss Unduna.
Um, require learning performance in a sure model, it means that the children must be actively participants participate in the learning process. So it's like about moving beyond passive listening and creating opportunities for them to be engaged, interact, and apply what they're learning. So, for example, hands-on activities. It's very common, but it's effective. And next is group work. Then real world application, like connect to the real world situation and ask students to apply their knowledge in practical scenarios, like what I've always said, like you will encourage children to to solve real world problems to their environment. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. So, in this step, it requires to have a plan on how to keep the learners engaged in the material that you are teaching and the needs to be met. So both for class and individual level. So the teacher must require the learners to participate in class discussion and to allow other strategies to emerge as the a discussion is going on. So like for example, during a literature unit, the teacher could implement literature circle discussions. So each student selects a rule such as summarizing or connector, facilitating deeper engagement with the text. As they uh, share their insights and ask questions, the teacher promotes an inclusive environment, encouraging diverse perspective while meeting individual learning needs and fostering collaboration. So the last one is evaluate and revise. So do you have any idea or do you have so can anyone share or can anyone share about what do I have your understand about it? Sorry. So may call on Miss Alan.
For me, evaluate and revise is the last step in assure model, and it is defined as when a teacher assess the effectiveness of their lesson. So it has possibility that it it could or it can make a change for uh, for future sessions because of the word revise.
Exactly. Thank you. So this is the final stage of the Azure model. So it allows the teacher to evaluate the impact of the teaching learning process to the learners. So this is also include evaluation of their learning objectives, the strategies and technology, media and materials used by the teacher, and the weaknesses and strengths of the presentation. So, like for example, at the end of the math unit, a teacher could administer a summative assessment and gather student reflections. No, so analyzing test scores and feedback helps identify effective strategies such as group work in areas needing improvement, like unclear explanation, like that. So this evaluation guides the teacher and refining future lessons plan for better outcomes. So I think that would be all of my part. Thank you for listening, guys. I hope you learned something about my topic.
So, okay, thank you for that, Miss Christina Lauron. So, kindly next. So, okay, so the 5A model. So, the next model is the 5A model. So, can somebody read the presentation presented? Yes, Miss Linia Unduna.
5E model. Students ask questions, conduct investigations, and build their understanding.
Okay, so the 5A model, it according to the, I mean, the 5A model, it is a collaborative model that aims to deepen the understanding of young learners in a classroom. So, kindly next, Miss Nina. Jinbea. Okay, so in 1987, the biological science curriculum study developed a program for elementary science and health. So, this program is called the 5A Model of Science Instruction, which is aims to let students to understand and encourage critical thinking. So the 5A model is based on constructivism. So as we all know that constructivism is the branch of the philosophies of education, which is students are they are not passively learners. They are the one to construct their own knowledge by their experiences. So in this model, the teacher plays a crucial role in guiding students through this model. So using frame lessons and activities to help them understand a new concepts. So kindly next, Miss Jinbea. Okay, so the 5A model, phases of 5A model. So we have here five phases of model. So first is the engagement, exploration, explanation, elaboration, and evaluation. So let us talk about engagement. So when you hear the word engagement, what would a teacher do to engage the student? Okay, do you have any idea? Okay, yes, Miss Anna Villasor.
For the what was your question again, Miss Hamandran?
I mean, what is the focus or the purpose of the engagement model? The first phase.
So when we say engagement, um, it will, it has collaboration with the teacher and the students, in which the teacher will ask the students questions, or they will have an activities group activity in which they're able to have a collaboration. Is it right?
Okay, thank you for that, Miss Anna. So you get it right. So in in from the book, so engagement this captures students' interest and curiosity by connecting to their prior knowledge and experiences. So in this space, these sets are the stage for learning by asking provoking question or presenting a short activity. Like for example, uh, a teacher might show a video of seed growing and ask, "What do plants need to grow?" Like that. So in that way, teacher will able to get the attention and uh, pique the interest of a student. So in here, engagement have been established and then followed by the exploration. So in the exploration, so students participate in a hands-on activities to investigate the topic, allowing them to explore concepts actively. So this phase encourage discovery and inquiry based on without providing immediate answers. So the teacher here is the teacher's role here is to provide materials that that um, that incorporate collaboration, encouraging questions like that. So, like for example, after showing the video, the teach the students may explore about plant by experimenting what soil I by experimenting with soil, water, and light. So in that way, they become more curious and dig deeper on how to know how to grow a plant. So in the third phase is the explanation. So in the explanation, here is the students describe what they have learned, often through the discussion or through their observation. So while the teacher here is they are just going to clarify something and provide um, like reinforcement. So this is a phase where understanding is solidified and key ideas are highlighted. So for example, discussing the findings on plants needs to grow and explain elements like what elements can help the plant to grow, like the sunlight, the water, and the soil. So in that way, the students will understand that in growing plants, it needs the elements, it needs the basic elements to grow a plant. So next is elaboration. So in the elaboration space, so the students expand their knowledge by applying it to the new applying it to the new situation or to the real world scenario. So these phases reinforce and deepens their understanding, often involving more complex or real world scenarios. For example, so let the students observe to which soil does plant grow effectively. Like for example, there are different types of soils. So as we all know that there are plants that grow faster with this type of soil or something like that. So in that case, so they were able to extend their knowledge to experiment new things about growing plants. So in that way, so student may acquire knowledge about about planting a seeds or plants. So next is where the evaluation is. This last stage is to assess this the teacher measures the understanding of the student to reflect on their learning. So this can be done informally, such as through observations, or formally through quizzes or other assessments. So the purpose of evaluation is to assess the understanding and improvement of areas. So the teacher's role here is um, to provide a self assessment, to provide assessment for the learners to see if they are able to understand the concept of the science. So in here they can provide a quiz about plants and make let them make projects about plant adaptation. So in this stage, so evaluation is more on like the the outcome, or your overall understanding about the concept throughout the discussion. So by this model, so um, teachers can facilitate learning experiences which is meaningful and fun in an early childhood classroom or setting. So by understanding the importance of this model, we can really apply it into real world scenarios wherein we can curious we can go beyond the box, or we can expand our understanding. So kindly next. Kindly next, Miss Jinbea. Okay, so in conclusion, so by combining these models, science educator can create dynamic and effective learning experiences that motivate students, promote deep understanding, and inspire scientific inquiry. So each model, the ADDIE model, the GAGNI, event instruction, the Assure, and the 5E models contribute valuable strategies to science instruction. So by selecting a appropriate model based on lesson goals, so the teacher were able to meet the needs of their students, and educators can also create an engaging and effective learning experiences that promote scientific understanding and inquiry. So I think that would be all for our discussion. So thank you for listening, and I hope you learned something.
Okay, so that ends for our discussion. So thank you so much, guys, for joining us here, and we really appreciate your presence. So thank you so much, and have a great day ahead. Bye bye.